I've accumulated a bunch of new makeup recently, so let's put it on my face and do this cute little smoky look. So I already did the rest of my makeup that wasn't new and interesting, so let's go to the eyes. I've got a couple eye products here, and I'm going to start with the Nabla Cupid's Arrow. It's a like kind of creamy eye pencil, and I have it in brown and in like a maroon shade, but I got black because I've just had this craving to do like more smoky looks, kind of grungy stuff. I'm on the hunt for a silver eyeshadow to complement all of that, but that's a side note. Let's get zoomed in. So for this look, I'm kind of envisioning just like black all around here. I might even put it on my lash line, which I don't usually do because I think doctors are like, hey, don't put stuff in your ducts. But it's such an aesthetic, such a look. So I think for this look, I might do that. And this blends so easily. I know from the brown and maroon one that I have. So I'm excited to see if the black still maintains that pigment even when it's blended out. Oh, and I already primed my eyes with the About Face eye primer. I'm still enjoying that. Okay, I feel like that blended out all right. It was a little drier than I expected because it is so creamy when you just swatch it. But once I start trying to blend it out, I feel like there were some kind of issues of sticking, but definitely not as much as other black eyeliners that I've had, so I think this is still the creamiest one that I've tried. I just kind of want it to be a little winged out a bit, kind of make my eyes look a little bit bigger. Okay, I feel like that's a good base. Now I'm gonna put some shadow on top of it and then come back with this to just kind of deepen up and tightline. So for eyeshadow, I got the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. Now this is a purchase that I thought about for at least 3 or 4 months. I had it in my cart for so long because it's like $50 and it is a very basic mattes palette, and I'm like, I know I have these shades in other palettes probably, but after my declutter, I was kind of left with maybe like a handful of shades that were more neutral, everyday kind of mattes. And I really didn't like having to pick out multiple palettes just to do a look on the daily. And these shades are really what I'm drawn to just every day, and just like putting a shimmer on top and being done with it. So I just kind of bit the bullet and did that. It was a big struggle choosing between this and the Patrick Ta one, but in the end I was like, I don't want to deal with those like creams that are in there. I don't know about the mold. I don't know about any of that. So I like that this is really small and I can just take it when I travel. Like, it's so thin. And I have been dipping into this a little bit just to put like a transition shade over, and I do really like how these blend out. They're really soft and there's some like kickback, I guess, but I have that with all of my eyeshadows, so I don't really mind it. I just kind of, and then dust it off. This shade right here has been my favorite so far. I feel like it's just the perfect shade for my skin tone. It just blends right in very seamlessly, and if I had another shadow that I wanted to kind of blend out or diffuse the edges, I could just use this one too. So I'm just going to kind of build this up on top of the black to kind of diffuse that, and then I'll go in with a slightly deeper shade just to add a little bit more intensity. Next I'm going to take this chocolate shade that's right next to it, and I'll just place that a little bit lower. I'm going to mix these two brown shades now and bring it just a little bit lower than what I was just working on. There's something about just like this simple gradient of mattes that I've really been liking lately. I finally opened this up like a week ago and I've just been playing around with it. And I feel like it actually makes me use eyeshadow more because it's not as intimidating as trying to figure out like how colors go together. Yay! One thing I don't really love about this is the packaging is just so plain. I think I'm going to put like a big sticker here or something, but it's so basic for the price. It at least has like a very large mirror in it, and I like that it's slim for traveling, but I'm like, you could have given me a little something. Like, did it have to be white? I digress. Back to the Nabla stylo, and let's just line it again. Ooh, I'm gonna take the other end of this brush that's a little more pointed and use the black shadow in here and just kind of stamp that on top of that cream to set it. Well, it's like a cream pencil. Cool. Okay, now I'll do my waterline and my lower lash line. I don't have enough hands to pull up my eye right now. Ooh. I I love the drama of a very smoky lower lash line. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna take a little bit of a like medium brown shade in here and use that to kind of blend that out a bit. And then I'm gonna do it on the other side. Okay, I just finished the other eye and I like this look so much. I love it just the way it is, but I do have another eye product and it's from Hourglass and it's their Scattered Light eyeshadow in Ray. It's just like very sparkly, glittery, and I got this in Ray, which is like a brown, and I thought it'd be a very kind of neutral glam go-to for me. So I'm not gonna just like swipe it on top of this look because I do really like how kind of just like simple and understated it is. I say that while it's just like very black and in your face. But I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my brush and just kind of dab it on top so it just really does give that scattered effect. So let's give that a go. I don't know if I should spray this first. I'll try it without and see how that goes. Just kind of tilt my head back to catch any fallout. I like it. It just looks kind of like dusty, like a little bit of the night sky. Or more accurately, it looks like you slept with glitter on your eye and a lot of it rubbed off in your sleep. And I kind of dig it. I'm really happy that I got this shade because I have a lot of glitters that are very silver forward and sometimes it just reads too icy on my skin tone. So I really wanted something that had more like browns or coppery golds. And this one, I think it leans a bit coppery, but I think that works with the deep browns that are in this eye look. I really like it. Oh, I'll show you what it looks like in full intensity though. Let me put some on my hand. Yeah, so that's what we'd be working with at max force. But I just wanted a little twinkle. Wow, but that is really pretty. They have like, I want to say like 8 shades of these or something, and they kind of keep coming out with more. I have Bodyography glitter pigments that are like pretty much this exact same thing. And these are at least $30. I don't know if I would get more unless there's like a shade that they have that you can't find anywhere else. Because a lot of people are coming out with products like these now. Everyone wants that shine and that shimmer. I don't know what to do for the inner corner. I might pop back into this palette and just do one of the lighter kind of creams. It's just like a bright matte inner corner. I've literally never done that in my life because people use like the bone shades that are in palettes, and for me that would just be like stark ass white, so could never do that before. But I like that they're, you know, some kind of like muted yellowy beiges. I know that still sounds like exactly what are in those other palettes, but it just comes off across a bit more natural on my skin tone, I think, than the whites some of those other palettes be having. Yeah, I think that looks good. It feels so nice to be able to do this. It does give a nice effect. And now I'm like, I could put some on my actual brow bone, but I'm scared. You know, I'll take this tiny brush to apply it. I'm afraid of like muddying up because I only brought so many brushes to my little pillow where I'm doing this look. Ooh. I'm very pleased with this purchase. Even though it's just like white plastic and it's kind of ugly, I'm really happy with all of the shades that are in there. I think they all work for my skin tone. Even the white that's in here, or like this beige, which I'm probably not gonna get the most use out of, but I feel like I want to use it as a matte highlight on the middle of my lid and then put like a pastel or something on top of that. I feel like that could be cool. So I'm really excited with how versatile this is. And even though it's like $50, the shades in here are ones that I will use literally every day. So I'm feeling good about that purchase. This one is just kind of like a nice to have. Did I need to buy it? Absolutely not. But it is very high shine. You are getting a lot of shine for your money. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you were looking for something just like with max sparkles. Okay, I think that's everything for eyes right now. Let's zoom back out. So the next new product that I got is also from Nabla, and it is their freckle maker. I've been using a dried out liquid eyeliner in dark brown to do fake freckles, and I was trying to find something else to use because it's not the most natural, but it is free since it's a product I already own. And I think this was like $18 or something. And there are other freckle products on the market. I know there's like the Freck thing, the one that's like this big, and I think is more expensive than this. And there's from Bobble, did a collab with Rudy Berry has a freckle pen, but those just seem like the shades weren't right. Those seemed a little bit too red for my skin tone. Based on images I'd seen with like people of my skin color, it didn't look the most natural. So I just took a gamble on this. This was like 50% off at Ulta. So I was like, if it sucks, I learned, I lived. So I don't think this is one where you can dot all over, but we'll see. And I've left them on for like a second now, so I'm gonna just take my finger and take them off. And yeah. I think that looks alright. I have a bunch of other freckles going on. It's funny, whenever I do them, I'm like, oh, the freckles on my face look so unnatural. And it's like I have at least a dozen scattered across my face. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to have some on my nose, as there are some there already. And I kind of just go crazy with them until I take a step back and I'm like, what have we done? And then you can just put some more blush on top of it and they kind of disappear. So you really can't ever mess up freckles. And I think they look so cute with a more dramatic eye look. It makes it look like you're not wearing any other makeup. Because it's like, if we can see her freckles, that must mean there's nothing on top of her skin. She's completely barefaced. That's right. Keep believing that. And if I feel like one is on there too strongly, like you're looking a little too intense, I'll just kind of smudge it off. Just like that. And I'll sometimes find myself doing that to freckles that are actually on my face, and I'm like, why isn't it coming off? Okay, now that those freckles are in place, I'm gonna just stamp over it a little bit with the brush that I used to apply blush. So they look like they're peeking through the skin. So far, I'm pretty happy with this. It's actually very easy to use. When I first saw it online, I thought that this thing, I thought it was like a brush tip, and so I wasn't sure how that was really going to work with applying dots, but it kind of has just like a rounded little nub at the end that applies circles really nicely. So I really like this mechanism. The liquid liner I've been using is felt tip, so it also applies nice little dots. So I'm glad that I haven't gone from something that looks believable to something that looks ridiculous. What's next? Well, next I'm going to just kind of try and pick off some sparkles. I feel like next time I'll definitely use a little bit of setting spray, but I just didn't want them to become too intense on my eyes, and I like what we ended up as, so if I get some star fallout on my face, then that's fine. So the next products that I have 2 powders from Hourglass. I got their translucent setting powder in medium. Yeah. And this looked kind of honey-colored. I couldn't find a single actual swatch of the product to make sure that it was kind of what I was looking for and not too beige but more yellow-based. So I'm literally gonna take it off here. We'll discover together. Oh, and it's a little H. That's something. That's branding. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, because I'll figure it out on my own. Okay, figured it out. Not sure if that will convey anything to you, but it does have a bit of yellow in it. I had looked at the shade, like Translucent Honey, maybe it's called, from Laura Mercier, and I was between that one and this, but Hourglass was like having a sale, so I just got it from there. And now I have powder everywhere. I only have one other loose powder, and what I usually do is I'll just totally roll my brush in it to saturate the bristles and just rub it all around. Just to make sure it's evenly dispersed and I'm not going to get weird clumps on my face. Okay, I'm so excited to try this. This was a lot of money. I wanted to get a translucent setting powder because I have one from e.l.f. their Halo Glow setting powder in medium beige, and as I've complained about so many times before, it just gives a little bit of like an ashiness to me if I use too much, because they have a shaved tan that they just don't sell anymore, and I'm like, that'd be perfect for me, but nowhere to be found. And I've just wanted a setting powder to kind of set my face when I'm going from creams to powders, and then also just to kind of touch up some oily spots that may develop. And wow, this is so cool to have one that, like, I'm putting it all over my face, but I'm not getting any kind of cast. And of course it's setting business. Like, it's making the shiny areas look not shiny, but it still looks so skin-like. It doesn't look very powdery. Just gives a kind of like satin finish. Nice. This is most exciting to me because I really like to layer cream and powder blushes and bronzers. I just like that dimension that it gives a look. But if I go right on top of the cream with a powder, it just gets like kind of clingy in certain areas and it gets uneven and it's very frustrating. But hopefully this will solve my problems. Oh my goodness. Oh, so cute. No, that's sickening. It's really good. Well, I'm going to be using this sparingly because I really like this. I mean, we'll see how it wears, but at first blush, this has really set my face with so little product. So that's really nice. And I feel like my face still looks like skin. It doesn't look like here's a ghost and here's a human. It just looks like one body. Dope. Okay, so I have another powder from Hourglass, and this is in their ambient lighting powder. These are finishing powders, which you should see me on Google. Like, what is the difference between a setting powder and a finishing powder? But this is just meant to add some, like, depending on what finish you get, it can add a little bit of radiance or luminosity or brightening. And I got the shade Radiant Light, and this has a little bit of shimmer in it. And I got this just because sometimes after I powder my face, it can just look really dull. And I kind of have dull skin to begin with, especially in winter. So I wanted something that I can just add on the perimeters and it'll bring back that zhuzh to my face. I definitely forgot how small it was going to be. I'd seen it in Sephora, so I knew that these were tiny, but to hold it in your hand is just like, it's a baby. But I didn't want to get the full size in case it ended up being too shimmery. So this is what we have. And I've just got kind of a floppy powder brush to just kind of pat it around my face. I have a couple of the other ambient lighting powders in palettes from Hourglass. I have their Unlocked palette that I use quite a lot, and the Tiger palette from 2022 holiday season, and I really like them so much. They just add a little bit of life back into the skin if it's been over powdered, or if you just want a little bit more dimension for like a special night. Like, I wore two shades, I think Dim Light and something else from the Unlocked palette, and I wore it out to dinner, and when I went into the bathroom to look at my face, like, I looked airbrushed. It was insane. And that's when I was like, yep, I need more of these. And you can also layer these to your heart's content, in my experience, and you won't notice any build-up to like chalkiness or noticeable texture. It's still gonna look very soft and silky. I wasn't sure if that would be true for this one because it has more shimmer than any of the other ones that I've used before, but I will inspect closer once I've finished my dusting, which will be any moment now. Okay, yeah, it's so subtle. There's just kind of this like golden sheen. It just feels like there's a halo of warmth around my face. If you're looking up close, like to my skin, it gives the effect of like you've been out on a boat and you have that freshly tanned skin. That's that kind of like inner radiance that I'm seeing. But again, you have to get up so close to see it. I don't know if this is making a huge difference to the overall impact of my look, but when I'm there like preening in front of a mirror, just like feeling myself, I am noticing it. So that matters to me. I don't know if I would get a full size of that, but that little tiny size is perfect, so I'm happy with that purchase. What else do we have? Okay, I'm going to do a spritz of setting spray, and then we can move on to mascara. I have two new mascaras. I've got the shade Drift from Tower 28. This is the brown mascara that they came out with. And then the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara in black, just the original formula. And this was my favorite from years ago, but I haven't used it in just as long. I just kind of moved on to like higher end mascaras, you know, kind of the grass is greener kind of thing, but now I'm kind of craving the length that I got from this, so I'm hoping it's still as good as I remember. I think I'm gonna try this a different day. I just feel like the brown might be a little too subtle for the look. I think I need the black to really pop, so I'll try this another time and let you know. First, let's give them a little curl. I feel like my lashes have gotten stubbier than ever. It is very upsetting. I know I sleep with my face like smushed into the pillow and maybe that's why, but I really try to not curl them unless I'm really going out somewhere because I don't want to put that pressure on them. I don't know, maybe I just have really weak lashes. So I've been using a tubing mascara for the last couple months and I've kind of forgotten just how like voluminous lashes can look because it really just adds a little bit of length to each lash and kind of a little stubbly length too because it's just adding on fibers. And this really gives like a full fanned look to the lash. It's so pretty. Now we'll see if it's able to hold the curl. It might just end up weighing them down because my lashes like to do that. They can't take any pressure, neither can I. But let's see how they hold. Let's do the other side. I also like how small this wand is. I feel like I'm able to get every single little lash. No lash left uncoated. And I feel like this look calls for lower mascara. Might try and just like fan them out a bit. I feel like this is just a good mascara. Like this is a prototype of what mascara should do. I'm getting length, I'm getting some volume, but not so much that they're just becoming unidentifiable clumps. I really like this. I'm sorry that it's been so long since we've seen each other. Okay, I think that's all the eye stuff. Exciting. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blush since some of it kind of got faded away with all of the powdering and setting. I also just like to reapply my cream products after setting my face because I feel like it just makes it look more like skin afterwards. It brings back some of that glow. I feel like anything too flat is kind of boring and anything where everything's dewy is also kind of boring. You know, you want to have some variance or, you know, do you. All right, the last category of new makeup products that I got are lip glosses. I got 4 lip glosses. I got 2 of the NYX Milky glosses. I got Choco Latte Shake and Strawberry Horchata, and they both smell like their respective names, which I read before I bought them, but I didn't expect them to smell as intensely as they do. I don't think I mind it, but they're very strong fragrances, so if you're fragrance averse, just know that it's not just like a little whiff, it's like a punch in the nostrils. I also was trolling Ulta's new arrivals page where I just go when I want to spend money, and I saw that they got some AF94 products. These are Halsey's brand. This is like the lower cost brand, like About Face is the higher end one, but it's still pretty affordable. Anyway, this one is ultra low cost, and I got 2 shades. I got just a clear because I don't have a clear gloss, and I got the shade Honey, I'm Home, and it's kind of a honey nude shade. And these glosses, both of these glosses are so freaking glossy. These have a little bit more pigment. I would say these are kind of similar in terms of pigment. Even on the lips, like here, these look like totally different shades, but I did a side by side of them, and it was just one side was a little warmer and one side was a little cooler. So depending on how finicky you are, I don't think you would need multiple kind of nude glosses. They all kind of do the same job, but here I am with a bevy, a surplus even, of glosses, and I'll do some swatches actually right now. This is Choco Latte Shake. Strawberry Horchata. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's pretty pigmented for a gloss. That's dope. This is Honey, I'm Home. And then just Clear. Which, does Clear have a name? Ah, do you see it? Alright, here's all the glosses. Oh, and the AF94 ones don't have a smell other than just smelling like cosmetics. Which actually bothered me at first. I was like, put a little something in, even though fragrances honestly irritate me, but I will suffer through for like a nice smell. So for this look, I want a cooler gloss, so I think instead of this Honey, I'm Home, I'm gonna go with the Choco Latte Shake, because it gives a kind of like cool chocolate vibe. So I don't even think I'm gonna put on a lip liner because all my lip liners I think would be too warm for this. So maybe that's something to add to my shopping list. I don't know, I feel like nothing that's come out recently has really excited me. I don't know if there are any upcoming or new releases that y'all are into. Ooh. The one thing about me in makeup is that I do love to buy new products, but I need to have a justifiable reason. Like, I can't just fool myself and trick myself into buying stuff. I will be like, girl, you do not need any of that. You already have like X amount of blushes or lip products. So like all these brands are coming out with lip oils and lip glosses, and I'm stocked up. I'm full up. I don't have any room. So those just aren't getting my attention because I'm like, there's no reasonable way I can justify buying another frickin' gloss. Okay, but this one's really pretty. Yeah, I don't have anything like this shade in my collection. This is so cool. I feel very just like ready for a night out, and it's so shiny. I'm like, ooh, we could layer the clear on top. How absolutely ridiculous would that be? I just put some on my finger. In the center. Did that do anything? I honestly think it did. I think these are the slightest bit glossier than the NYX ones. And I have a Bratz look in my head where I want to just have like ultra glossy lips and big lashes. And so I was kind of hoping for a gloss that would put me on the track to do that look justice. So I think these are going to be it. So I'll pull them out for that look. But yeah, that's all my new makeup. This is so exciting. I've just been having these things, accumulating them, just kind of hoarding them like a dragon of some kind. And I'm excited to actually use them, and I can't wait to use them again. I just like have ideas percolating now of how to put these to use and how they can work with other things in my collection. So this is so exciting. Thank you for hanging out with me and trying out these products. Oh, real quick, let's just revisit what I've used. The Nabla Stylo. These have so many colors, very creamy pencil formula. I think the black, I was a little bit iffy about it first, but after doing the other eye, I was really able to get the hang of it if you just kind of work quickly and don't give it too much time to set. I think this sets a little bit faster than other shades that I have of it, but this line is amazing. The Makeup by Mario palette, I feel like if you are a woman of color and are looking for a good neutral everyday palette, I would definitely check this out. The black in here is really nice. I have blacks in other palettes that aren't nearly as pigmented, or they're more blue leaning, and this I feel is giving more of just like a true kind of cool black. The Nabla Freckle Maker, I don't know if this is worth $20. I do like that it can be made more subtle or more punchy if you're looking for a more over-the-top like strawberry shortcake look. So I would recommend checking this out if you're just diving into the world of it. Even though it is almost $20, it's cheaper than a lot of other freckle pens out there. People are getting a little crazy with the freckle craze. The Hourglass setting powder, I'm alarmed at how much I like this because I don't want to rebuy it, but I just love how it has set my makeup, and I can finally do this like satin matte look that I've been craving without feeling like totally washed out in a sea of just like two translucent universal setting powders. Like the yellow in this is really doing wonders for my skin tone. The Radiant Light finishing powder from Hourglass, this ambient light powder, I don't know that I would buy the full size of this, but it gives me a little something special that I feel like when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I just feel a little more like princess, baby girl wearing this. So this is one of those nice to have. Definitely don't have to have it. Oh, speaking of nice to haves, the shade Ray from the Scattered Light line at Hourglass. This is super sparkly and beautiful, but I don't know that it's worth like $30. I think you could find something a little bit cheaper, but it does have a really nice punch. So I think you definitely get your money's worth if you were looking to spend that kind of coin. For the mascaras, for the telescopic mascara, I needed to stop sleeping on drugstore mascara. I should have come back to this so long ago, and I'm sorry that I haven't, but I think they just make my lashes look so fluttery and lovely, and I can't wait to keep trying this again. For my lip products, I think that these are both great drugstore gloss choices. I think this is a little bit glossier, but the smells on these are absolutely delicious, and I like how opaque and pigment packed some of these are, so I definitely check these out. They even have like green and blue shades. A really great find. Okay, those are all of my new products. Thank you so much for watching. This was an absolute delight, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!